Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to the tutorial for today. Today, we are going to be talking about typography. We actually started before, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, we had to start all over again. So, if you are just joining us, you are very, very welcome. Shout out to my students. Say what's up, say what's up. Say hi.
Hi.
Right. Okay. So hopefully our second student will join very soon. I don't know where she is, but yeah, she'll be coming in soon. Okay. So typography. Typography basically talks about text. Once you think about text, you think about typography, and it can also be interchanged with the word font. So fonts, typography, text, they can be used interchangeably. Okay. All right. So what we'll know about fonts or typography, we'll talk about fonts and typefaces. We'll talk about the foundation and anatomy of letters and the definition of terms. And of course, we have different activities that we will have to go through. So typography. Now, typography is not just about finding the right fonts for your design, but it is also about using like something that is cultural and in fact very embedded into that design. There are some certain designs that you can use for, there are some certain type of text that you can use in a formal setting. They look very serious, very modern, those kind of text. While if you are designing something like an invitation for a wedding, you want to use something more decorative. So that's what we are going to actually be looking at. Also, there are some fonts that is just meant for display. You're not it apart from display, it won't be really very relevant. And there are some text that is for just for like of the body of a work, like for example newspapers, a work that has a lot of text. So when you are doing something that has a lot of text that requires somebody to read, you don't want to use something very decorative. You want to use something that is easily noticeable. So for example, if you look at this typography, you can see that this font, this text here, let me go up. This text here, it has a name. If we come here on our Canva board, we'll see the name of the text. It's called Livik. And if you can see it, you'll see that it's a very simple text. It's very modern. Doesn't have any too much paparazzi. Once you see it, even from far, you can easily see and understand what it's all about. While if we come over here to this text over here, you see that this text is more decorative. It's very designed. So, you have to like spend extra time to like look at it and find out what it's all about. And this text, the font is called Emitha. So there are so many different fonts. Let me just try and scroll through the fonts that we have. Unlimited. And these fonts in Canva are not even exhaustive in any ramification at all. Not at all. These are just a few. There are still fonts that you have to download by yourself. Now, inside this Canva, you can see that they have some text that look like handwriting. See, they look like somebody's handwriting. Though my own handwriting is not like this, but I know some people who have this very fine handwriting that if you read it, and there are some people that have handwriting that you can't read what they are writing, no matter how hard you look. So there are all different types of handwriting text. We also have corporate text. These are not the types of text, so these are just the different groups in Canva. I'm just trying to show you the different different types of text that we have, but this is not how it's classified. We're going to go into the classification of text very soon. So if you look at the corporate text, you'll see that most of them are very simple, modern, straightforward. They are not too decorative. They just give you the information that you need, and that's the end of that. You move on. It's very straightforward. It's not too decorative. They have space. You can easily see. They are very legible, so that whatever it is that you are doing in the corporate world is clear. Clear. Whatever it is you're trying to communicate is very, very clear. Okay, so let's see another one again. Display. I hope you're following me.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so display text are more for like some like titles. They are used for if you want to display something you want to catch attention with it. So that's what they are used for, like a title of a book, or a title of a page, or a title of something. Not to say that it's only thick. They have the thin ones, they have the thick ones, they also have the ones that, in fact, this one has a line inside, this one has this one even said pan headline, so you know that it's for you to catch attention with it on the headline of whatever it is that you are trying to get attention about. So there are several of them, and they are just categorized here into display. So you can go down, there are so many of them for you to choose from. Okay, let's also see another class. We have headings. Headings are going to be more of very clear and easy for you to see. Though they have some design, but they are very, very straightforward, easy for you to easily see. Very modern type of text also. So we have quite a lot of them. Though they are headlines also, but they have some decoration also. They are like a mix between the two. So your headline should not be boring. You can have something that's like this one now, very, very bold. If you want something on the bold side, if you want something tall. Now, someone often said that fonts are like clothes. That today you can dress up like an Igbo person, tomorrow you can dress up like a Hausa person, another day you can dress up like another culture again. That fonts are very much like that, because the way that you use a font would be determined by the type of design that you are doing. Just imagine this kind of font now that I picked on a Halloween design. Don't you think it will look very, very nice with it? Look, it will have that kind of, it will follow the concept of scary. It's something. It doesn't come every day, and it looks very nice and different. So that's the thing. The type of design will determine how the font you pick will be. So you have different ones. If I was doing something like a game, like all these are PS games, you can use something like this glitch kind of effect on these games. That one goes very well with it. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you're doing something like a diary for like ladies or something, you can use something like this. It's very girly. It's very girly kind of design. You understand? So your type of design will determine the type of text that you utilize. So let's check another one. Paragraph. So for paragraphs like these ones, we have paragraph text, which are going to be very, very straightforward, since the person is going to read a lot. And I don't know about you, but if I'm reading a lot of text, I wouldn't want something that is hard for me to see. I would want something that I can read through as fast as possible. Don't want too much decoration. You want something that's straight to the point. Let me see what I want to see. Let me go. Let me be done with what I'm reading, and let me just move on my way. So for like if you're writing a book, you can use any of these fonts. can use any of them. They will go perfectly with your paragraph, and they would make it easy, legible for anybody to see it. So yeah, so that is, thank you to Canva. Oh, there's still some more stuff. Okay, sans-serifs. Okay, we are going to now even go to the next one, since I think we've explained this text very well. Okay, so like there's a difference between font and typeface. In the olden days, there was like different typefaces, and like an artist will have to create every letter individually, one by one. And the difference between Mr. A's typeface and Mr. B's typeface is that, okay, maybe there will be little disparities between the two fonts, the two typefaces that you are competing. Maybe you like your own lettering to be tall. Me now, I can like my own lettering to be short. So that was how typefaces, different typefaces came about. Then there was even like the royal family. They even had their own special typeface, which only the royal family was allowed to use. So that was how big of a deal typefaces were. If they want to give a royal proclamation, they had to write it in that particular typeface, the one that they picked for the family. You get? So as time went on, there was the invention of the printing mill and the printing press, and then the typefaces now started to evolve, and so much print was now produced. And so you couldn't just wait for one person to go and design one type to be commissioned by the royal family anymore. Everybody now said, oh, okay, the message, this, can I send it like that? Can I do it like this? And that was how they were able to get the different types of fonts and typefaces that we see today. Okay, so even anybody can create a typeface. If you are creative enough, if you are brilliant and smart with drawing, can draw very well, you can very easily create a typeface. You can either mix from existing typefaces, or you can create your own straight from inspiration and put it out there on the market and sell it as a font. It's actually a way that people make money today. They create fonts, and that's how they make their money. Okay, so now the basic two types of fonts that we have are serif and sans-serif. Okay, serif, this is it here, serif, serif, and sans-serif. Okay, so serif is it has a line attached to it. If you look very well at this A, you will see one extension on the letter. Okay, now that is what we call serif. It is I think it's from either Greek or Hebrew, I'm not sure, but I think it's closer to Greek. Serif is extended in Greek. Or I'll check it. I'll Google it very soon now. And then the other class is sans-serif, and sans I will check it. It basically means without. So when you see a font that is without any extension, it is called a sans-serif. Okay, so those are the two basic ways in which we classify text fonts: serifs and sans-serifs. Okay, so let's quickly look at some examples of serif fonts. Okay, serif is from what language? Serif is from what language? Because I'm also learning also. Okay, so it's Dutch actually. Oh, that's nice. Traces serif to the Dutch noun meaning line stroke of the pen, related to the verb sharpen, to delete, stroke through. So serif has to do with a stroke. Anything that has a stroke, we call it a serif. So some types of serif that we have, let's quickly look at this. We have Times New Roman. I don't think there's anybody on this galaxy that does not know Times New Roman. I don't think so. That font is so popular. I think that's what they use in that's what they used to use in Roman times, because it's so popular. It's very popular. So Times New Roman, Georgia, Tahoma, Korea New, Tribuke, Arial. Arial is very, very popular. Calibri. Okay, that's also a very popular one. So those are some examples of serif fonts. Okay, now let's look at sans-serif. Probably from okay, so let me not make assumptions. The term comes from the French word sans, meaning without, and serif, of uncertain origin, possibly from the Dutch. You know that serif, we've already picked it before. It was from the Dutch. So now adding French to it to now make it sans serif, meaning no line. Okay, so let's look at some examples of sans serifs. Okay, so some examples. Okay, no, that's not it. Let's see this one. Okay, some examples of sans serif. Helvetica, that's very, very popular. Very, very, very popular. A lot of people use it in design because it's simple and classy and very modern. Helvetica. Okay, so mono sans, very, very popular also. Okay, seems is it Pinterest. Okay, is Museo Sans. Okay, Frutiger, and another Helvetica again. So there are some families that they have is from one font, but under that family you can have like about 10 different types of under the family. So let me say Helvetica family. I want to see the different types. Okay, so all these ones now, they are all Helvetica. This is Helvetica Ultra Light, Helvetica Thin, Helvetica Light, Helvetica Roman, Helvetica Medium, Helvetica Bold, Helvetica Heavy, and Helvetica Black. So as you can see, they are all, in fact, it even has black condensed again. So all are all Helvetica. Do you understand? But they are all different types of Helvetica. They are all in a family of Helvetica. So we have other from that the one I made mention of earlier, is it Futura? Yes, they also have a very big family like this. The same thing, lights, regular, they have the family under it. So if you don't pick one, you can always pick another, depending on what you're trying to design and the message that you're trying to pass across. Okay, hope you are following along.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we're going to look at the font itself. When you look at fonts, there are some certain things that you need to put into consideration. So here are the things that you put into consideration. Character, that's number one. So each letter, each one, like each single, you know how they say the letters will make the word. The letter inside is the character that forms the word. They include not only the letter A to Z, but they include numbers, they include punctuation marks. And if you are typing on your phone, you will see that there is a part of your keyboard that normally regularly comes out, which is your letters. Then there's now a part that you have to like go to for your numbers. Then inside that number, there's now a part that has like symbols, it has like exclamations, it has punctuation marks and other stuff like that. So the whole collection, the whole set of the whole set of all that I've mentioned now is what we call the characters. You understand? It's not just letters now. Everything combined together. So each one of them, one by one, is a character. One by one, one by one, one by. So they all come together to form the trying to write. They come together to pass it across an information. Just as when you want to write typography now, if I put an exclamation mark here, it has changed now. It is now typography, it's an exclamation. So all of those things will be inside your set of characters if you want to build one. If you want to do fonts, you have to build all these ones too. Okay. All right. So cap line. Cap line means the line that marks the upper border of the capital letter, as well as that of some lowercase letter ascenders. Okay, so this is basically our cap line. That is the highest line for your ascender. Now, what we call an ascender is this part. You see, there is a part that all the text fall into, all the fonts fall into here, and there's one that is above. And so also, as there is ascender, there is descenders. Now, this does not apply to all fonts. So some fonts don't have ascenders and descenders. Some fonts are just regular like that. They only have a uniform height. They don't have any extra. But when you see a font that has an ascender or a descender, then we can now say that the highest point of that text is what we call our cap line. So everything should be the same height. One cap line, maybe it should now stop here. Then this other one, the ascender here will now be here. No, it shouldn't be. It's all meant to be on the same line for uniformity, and so that when the reader is reading it, they can easily comprehend the text properly. So it doesn't look disorderly. It helps facilitate reading. Okay, so X height. Now that is the height of the tower's lowercase letters, excluding ascenders and descenders. So the normal height of the letters, not in capital, in small letters. Most of the capitals are usually ascenders and descenders. But when it comes to like regular height, it just has to do with your X height. So depending on what kind of fonts you want to create, there are some fonts that are well spread out and they don't need too much height. They just balance in between. There are some fonts that are really tall. There are some fonts that are naturally short, that are naturally small, and they use them for different effects in design. Okay, so the baseline Baseline is the imaginary line on which letters and other characters rest on. So that is basically the opposite of the cap line, is the baseline. Okay, if you look at our example here, you will see our cap line is here and our baseline is here. Okay, so kerning refers to the horizontal space between two characters. So when we talk about kerning, we are talking about this space here, this one here, between C and Y is kerning, between Y and P is kerning, between O and G is kerning. So there are some times that you might want to do a particular effect that you may have to use like a large kerning, like this. Let me try to ungroup. Okay, hold on. Okay, like for example here, this kerning now, if I want to add more space to actually exhibit what I'm trying to show you, I'll come here and I'll drag the letter spacing all the way out. So now I've added more kerning to the text. You understand? So now there are some times that when you are designing, you want to drive home a point, you can easily put text space between it so that it looks more attractive. It looks more attractive. That's basically kerning. So hope you understand this part. Hope we are still together.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Let's go on then. So bar, a horizontal stroke that is not connected to a stem on one or both sides. So this refers to the middle of your text. Here is not connected to a stem on or one or both sides. On one or both sides, okay? Like this one, bar, bar, bar. Your stroke, a single linear element, either curved or straight, that makes up a character. So all the elements that make up this character now, all of them like this, curved, straight, everything is the stroke. The counter, the space enclosed or particularly enclosed inside the letter, bound by curves, stems, and strokes. That's the space between them. This one should be similar to this space, should be similar to this one too, should be similar to this. If it's a small letter, it should have smaller space. If it's a capital letter, it should have bigger spaces. You understand? So that one text is not, looking off. One letter is not looking bigger than the other ones. That's the space is too much or the space is too small. Joint, the part of a letter where the stroke connects to the stem. Ascender, okay, we've talked about that before. Shoulder, the stroke that curves downward from a stem. We've said this is the stem, this is the shoulder right here. This is the stem, as we have said before. Descender, we've talked about descender. Loop, a loop goes around each other to create, of course, aesthetic effect. Bowl, the part of a letter that is closed, round, or curved. That's here, that's also here, that's also here on the Y, curved. So that's bowl, Abi. Yes. Foot, the part of a letter's stem that falls on the base line. That's the foot, just like you have your foot. This one is also foot too. Tail, another name for descender. So if you don't want to call it descender, you can call it your tail. Okay. So things that you should consider when you are dealing with fonts. Number one, limit the number of typefaces you use. So if you are creating a design, try to limit the font the typefaces of the fonts to about 2 if you must use more than one. But okay, for aesthetic effects, you might want to use more than one. So make sure it's 2 or 3 at the most. Once it goes more than 3, then it starts to look like a circus. You don't want too many, you don't want too many fonts on your work. Okay, then use the same font family. Remember that we talked about font family. So if, for example, you want to use thick in one place, you can use light in another place, bold in one place, you can use Helvetica light in another place, you can use Helvetica black in another one. You can just mix it up, but use the same font family. And this is basically done to create harmony or visual cohesion between the fonts, and makes it easy for the reader to read. Okay, fonts can set the mood. So some fonts are playful, some fonts are friendly, some fonts are serious. Look at this one, very serious. Look at this one, very fun. Look at this one, elegant. Look at this one, very bold. This is a font family. You can see railway bold, railway itself, railway thin. Okay, so those are the things that you must consider. You must put into consideration when you are talking about fonts. Okay, all right. So another thing you have to take in is that white space is your friend. White space is your friend. Now, don't be afraid of white space. Now, what does white space mean? White space is just the the absence of design. Basically, that's what we call white space. So if there is nothing in that place, it's called a white space. And basically, it gives your idea room to breathe and can also help focus on certain elements. So white space is your friend. You see this one, they wrote cluttered, while clarity. So if, for example, I was trying to tell you about blue, different shades of blue, when you see this, you understand what I'm trying to say, that there are 3 different shades. But if I put it like this, put different things there, it will be cluttered and you will miss the idea. Okay, work with okay does it mean the less design the better? Definitely. I've always said it, that design simplicity is the utmost sophistication. The less the design, the better self. Because when your audience is able to understand what you are saying, now remember that everybody is not you. You may understand it because you are the one designing it, but your audience, they may not understand it if there's too much going on. Okay, so when we are going into design proper, you see more of that, right? So work with a limited color palette. Now, color palette means, okay, you pick the colors that you want to use for that design. When we step into design proper, we'll be using loads of color palettes. Now, for this type of design, they're using this dark blue. This is like lighter shade of blue going towards white. This one too is also blue, heavy blue. This one too is also like whitish kind of color. So everything in the design will go by this. Just as we've done this our presentation now, everything follows a particular color. So there is not that you go to one page, you see one color, you go to another page, you see another color. No. Everything follows a particular color palette. Okay, so here are some activities that you can do. Look at the signs with text around you. Take pictures of a sign that catches your eye. Choose a poster template on Canva and insert your photo. In the poster, list down 3 or 5 brief reasons why you think this sign is interesting, and then share to me, your teacher. So having said all that, thank you very much. I will send you your assignment on WhatsApp. So we've come to the end of the class. Hope you guys will enjoyed it. Do tune in tomorrow. Join us tomorrow for another class. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.